Good morning. It's about 5:26 a.m. I am leaving now, about to head to Charlotte, NC for a conference. I got some free tickets. I'll tell you more about that later. But long story short, about to get in the car and head on out to Charlotte. I'm excited about it. Can't wait to see what happens. Let's rise and grind. Let's rise and grind. So far, I'm meeting a lot of really great people, and the energy is amazing. That's one thing. A lot of people match your energy, so if you're hype, they're gonna be hype too.
When you're 20 and 22, and your friends, are working on Wall Street or, doing what Jill is doing. It's very difficult. Sometimes you look across the aisle and you want to do something different than what you've always been doing.
So one conference hack I figured out is only go to half of the sessions, right? Most of the time, they're saying the same information over and over. They're having people share their stories, which is fine, but only go to half of them. And then spend the other half of the time networking, talking to the vendors, talking to people. That's where the real meaningful conversations happen. And more importantly, that's where clients come from. It's talking to people. When you're going up to speak to people, especially people who are panelists or speakers, it's important to start out by saying who you are and what really resonated with you, right? That'll let them know you were listening, you were active in their sessions, and that'll make them a little bit more open. And then I always go in with the line with, hey, you are so awesome. Here are the 3 things that really inspired me about your talk. And I give them in detail. And when you said this, right, I quote their words back to them. And then they're saying, oh, wow, well, who are you, young lady? What is it that you do? How can I help you? And I said, I'd love to have you share your story on my podcast. And I said, great, here's my publicist. Let's set it up. And that's, in a nutshell, how it goes, right? You start by introducing yourself. And I like to go when they're alone. So directly after a talk, bad time, because there are lines of people and they're just going through, trying to get through everyone. I'll wait until a lunch break, or I see them walking out in the hall and they seem uninterrupted and kind of have their guard down. They're not still in speaker mode. Then I just go up to them, introduce myself. I have to make the intro because you're one of the best speakers of the day. Here are the 3 things I loved about your speech. Thanks so much for coming today. And then they're floored. It's just you and them. There's no distractions, and they can really have a conversation with you and see where your interests align. One of my biggest takeaways from the entire event is that success starts with failure, right? Success starts with failure. A lot of these guys are sharing their stories of how they built $1 to $1 billion companies. And it all starts with this didn't work and this didn't work and nobody wanted this and nobody wanted this. And they kept at it and they kept trying until they got that one thing that people responded to. And so that really helps put it in perspective, right? Nobody starts out with $1 million idea. They start out with 10 ideas, and then they narrow it down, and then they narrow it down until they get that perfect thing by practice. Practice really does make improvement. Another thing, right? My business card. So far, nobody's really cared. I was so worried about people thinking they were janky or not good enough, but people were just excited to see my energy, to hear what I had to offer, and they really connected with me. So I'm following up with a lot of them, and I think it's going to turn into a really meaningful relationship. But it just goes to show a lot of times the things that you're stressing about, no one else even notices.